Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 8. So Module 8 is the halfway point of the semester. At this point, you will have the opportunity to reflect on your progress so far, reflect on whether or not you're achieving your goals, as well as leave some feedback for the class. So the main thing that we're doing in this module is moving on to the next essay assignment. This essay will be an argument essay, and so we'll be learning about argument as a style of writing and then doing some brainstorming and preparation for your essay, just like we've done with the other essays. So most of these assignments will feel familiar to you. First off, you want to make sure that you understand argument. So you'll want to read the chapter on argument out of the Patterns for College Writing textbook. There are a couple of examples that you're going to be looking at as well. And then you want to, there's a section on rules for writers that you also want to read, is just about writing arguments. So that will be, all of this stuff will be on the quiz, which will be the next thing that you want to do is make sure that you take the quiz over the argument readings. It's just like the other quizzes we've taken in the class. Then you want to move on and decide whether or not, or what type of topic you want to use for your argument essay. So you are going to be, the challenge here is to pick a topic where you defend a position. However, this is the one essay in this class where you will be using sources. And so we're actually going to spend quite a few modules on this one. And you have a couple of options as to what you want to do for your topic for this one. This is the essay that we'll spend the most time on because we're doing the most assignments related to it. It's also probably the most difficult essay that you'll write, kind of depending on how you feel personally about argument, and then also the topic that you choose and things like that. We are also going to do a peer edit with this one. So this is kind of our big essay for the class. And so you want to pick a topic that you can really work with. You're going to be relying on your personal experience, but also keeping in mind that you're making a claim. You can choose to either write about a past decision where you either can look at whether or not your decision was logical, whether or not it was the correct decision to make, that kind of thing. You can look at a personal challenge, experience that you faced that made you stronger. Obviously, you want to be choosing topics that are different from what you've written about so far in the class, because in this case, we're looking at something that's specifically an argument. So you need to pick something where there are like multiple sides to the issue, whether you can make a claim, that kind of thing. And then you also will be using a source for this one. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can, if you're comfortable using sources, a lot of students have had English classes, in high school and things like that, where they have had to use sources, and so they're a little bit more comfortable with use of sources. And in that case, you can pick something that you want to actually do a little bit of research on, and that's fine too. So you want to make sure that you are really establishing what the argument is, that you're providing us with a claim type of statement, typically in the form of a should statement or a needs to statement where we argue for a result. And then we'll want to make sure that we're developing your ideas and coming up with something that's, logically constructed, has lots of supporting ideas to it or supporting reasons, and then addressing an opposing viewpoint or refutation using what's called a rebuttal. And then you're going to, basically it's the opposing viewpoint or it's a type of counter argument, and then you provide what's called a refutation to that where you counter it in some way. And then your conclusion obviously is going to go over everything in the essay. You'll have to use at least one credible source, which obviously if you're choosing this research topic, you'll have more than one source, but one credible source. And then we'll, in the next few modules, you'll learn more about use of MLA style to cite sources, what a citation looks like, what use of sources look like, all of that kind of thing. And you'll do some practice with that and then making sure that your tone is appropriate and that you're using I pronouns, but not you pronouns, since it's not about the reader. So this is also the longest essay that we'll write. It's 3 to 5 pages. So you want to just keep in mind you're doing at least, typically it's going to be 4 body paragraphs, because we have kind of 3 paragraphs covering the reasoning and then 1 paragraph covering an opposing viewpoint. So that's typical. And so that's going to be a little bit longer, which means that you may end up writing more for this one. Lots of ideas for argument topics. So these are just some samples of like overcoming a challenge, personal decisions, sample topic research topics. Can't talk. So those are just different ideas for you, and obviously you can go in and Google ideas, that kind of thing. You can use those AI generators, sometimes come up with some good ideas. Different examples for your thesis statements and outlines, that kind of thing. And then you're going to start brainstorming for your topic. And so these are just different, just like we've done before with free writes. You can pick 1 or more of the prompts and just kind of write everything you can think about for those prompts. Most of you are doing pretty well with these. Just keep in mind that I want a lot written, and I don't care what it looks like. So it's fine if it's just all over the place and kind of messy looking. That's what we want. I just want as many ideas as possible to be generated. And then you're going to do the same thing you've done before and write out a thesis and an outline. And I've got kind of an example. Oh, I need to change that because that's about cause and effect. So this will be more about like, what are your reasonings behind the argument and what opposing viewpoint can you cover, that kind of thing. And just like we've done before, you can use that AI prompt. Just make sure some of you are not labeling what you have created using AI. That's really important, because I want to know that you have used AI to generate something, which is okay for some of the assignments in this class, as long as you're acknowledging that you did it. So that's really important to keep in mind. Once you're done with that, then that's all of the preparation work that we're doing so far for the essay. And then the next thing that you're going to do is just reflect on the mid-semester. So thinking about your goals for the class. You may have expressed a goal in the first email that you sent to me, or it may be just kind of things that you have thought about as you started the semester. What's been challenging so far, what's been fun so far, what do you have anything that you want me to know about something? Maybe things have gotten a bit busier for you this semester because stuff's happened. So just let me know. Anything you need, let me know. You can add in there. And then you do also have this option for a midpoint survey. It's an anonymous survey allowing you to give some feedback on the class, and then you'll get 5 points extra credit for doing it. So that's the module. Really, a lot of what this is just that, again, preparation, brainstorming, coming up with ideas for your next essay. We will get into a lot more as the modules go forward. And this one, like I said, is the longest essay. It's probably the most challenging essay, and it's the one that will have the most assignments associated with it. So just kind of keep that in mind. We'll be working on this topic for a while. So when you sit down to actually write out that thesis and outline, really be thinking about, are you okay writing a whole essay about this? Because that's going to be, that'll be a little bit of a challenge. So let me know if you have any questions. You certainly can send me an email or contact me if you're having any issues or struggling at all. And otherwise, have a great week.